Alright, so I had a customer bring me this Lenovo IdeaPad 5 14ARE05 model 81YM. Alright, so they broke it, the hinges broke off, I guess, so it broke off. You can see this is the back panel, and then they took it completely apart, broke other stuff, and then asked me to put it back together with the repaired parts. So we're going to try and fix this. First thing we're going to do, this is going to take multiple days because we do need to fix the hinge first. You can see this part, it had the hinges glued to it. So normally the way this would be sitting is this would be sitting on here like this. The other issue is they took pieces out of the screen and I'm not 100% sure how to put it back. So I'm going to have to figure it out as I go. It looks like it's supposed to have stretch adhesives here. But again, the customer took it out, so I don't know. I'm just going to be guessing at this point, and hopefully I'll be able to fix it. They did end up, I'm not 100% sure if they fried this cable. There's a very good chance that they did, so I got a replacement of that cable. Because what happened was when they tried to take the other screen out, instead of taking the cable out from the connector, they just kind of ripped this connector out and ripped it out of the screen. So I don't know what I did with that screen. I tossed it somewhere, but basically the connector was ripped out of the board part of the screen. All right, so first thing we're going to do, if you're wondering what's inside here, I will be showing how to reassemble it, but I'm not going to be taking it apart again after I put it back together because that's going to be annoying. There's an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD slot here. It looks like there's a second one here. It doesn't come with a screw. We did disconnect the battery to be safe. Then you got the keyboard connector here. You got the keyboard backlight connector here. Touchpad, trackpad connector here. Excuse me. Fingerprint sensor, fingerprint reader connector there. Speaker connector there with the wire running along down here up to the other speaker. They're held in with rubber gaskets that you can just pull these speakers out. And then the battery has some screws, and then these little feet tuck in there, so if you want to take it out, it pulls up at an angle like that and slides out. You got this big cable here connecting to the motherboard for the two USB ports and the SD card slot. Wireless card is here. Antennas are disconnected, but it did route through the fans here. Alright. And then you do have the fan screws that you can take out as well. Heatsink, CPU is soldered to the motherboard. And I think that's about all we're going over. The USB-C port is also soldered to the motherboard. I'm not going to take the hinges off, but normally if you wanted to take the screen out, you would take these screws out and then you can pull the whole hinge out. I'll first fix these by gluing them in, and then we'll take these out and then attach the hinges back to the screen first, because you want the hinges attached to the screen completely assembled before you attach it onto the base here. So the customer taking it apart in advance actually made my job a lot harder, because now I'm basically figuring out a puzzle without seeing the completed product first. So if you've ever gotten a puzzle of like just a bunch of pieces thrown at you without the picture to know what you're actually making, that's what this is equivalent to. Alright, so anyways, we're going to get these screws out. Let me go grab my screwdriver and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I think I actually lied. I'm probably going to have to take these hinges out first because it's too hard to reach the screws when they're like this. Which I guess will be more helpful to people because that's how they're going to have it. So the top of the computer is this way, so it should go back in this way. So I'm going to have to flip them over once I get them out. So I'm going to actually take the screws out and put them back in so I don't forget where they came from. That's the other thing. They took all the screws out. I don't know where they came from, so I don't know if I put back the wrong screws in the wrong place, that can also cause some damage. So once you get these screws out, this should lift out. Okay, it was stuck a little bit, but we'll have that there. I'm going to loosely fit these screws back in just so I don't lose them. Okay. We're going to take these out. This one has 3 screws holding it. Keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and length, so I keep them like that. Alright, if this video helps you out, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. and if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't, it'd also be great if you can watch a few of my other videos just to tell the YouTube algorithm to share my channel. Alright, also if you're wondering, there's this connector here, which I think is for like the camera or the microphones or something that goes into the screen. Is that? Actually, no. Does this even get used? I don't know if the customer yanked something out of here because I don't see. Huh. Actually, interesting. I think this is a port for a DC jack charge port connector because it says JDCIN1, which is DC input, which it looks like they have in the plastic. On some models, they cut out a hole here probably for a regular charge port instead of using USB-C to charge. So that's kind of interesting. All right, then you got the LVDS LCD screen connector that goes here that would pop out with a pull tab. But anyways, okay, we got the two hinges out. We're gonna remove the screws to remove this metal plate so that we can glue those in. So I'm gonna set this aside. Okay. And then we're gonna pretend that we had that. So basically we'd flip these over. So rotate and flip them this way because they are gonna go into the hinges like this. I hope I'm doing this right because once I glue this down and it's set in place, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get them back out. So the screen should flip back over like that, I'm pretty sure. So let me do a test real quick. So we got that. I'm gonna put this here. So the screen would close on itself like that, and then these two pieces would go over, flip over this way, right? Like that and like this. Yep, so that should be good. Okay, so line that up. Make sure to, oh, what did it just get stuck to? Oh, the magnet. So that's another thing. They had these magnets in here, and whatever they did, they're just falling out. So okay, this one has a little plastic piece that hangs over, and then this one doesn't. So I guess it's supposed to have adhesive that, oops, sorry, this magnet came out. So this one has a little thing that extends over, so it has to slide in from there and then go down. Give me a second, let me mute my phone real quick. Okay, so then we're going to have to remove all these screws. All right, give me a second, I'll be back. All right, let's go ahead and get these apart. 3 screws. These are JAS1 screws. So far all the screws appear to have been JAS1 screws. We're going to take these out. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we got those 3 out, and this design looks to be pretty good. It has several mounting points, so they have the 2 mounting points there that align it, along with the 3 screw mounting points. And oops, the other thing is it has these little hooks down here, so you need to make sure when you put the hinge back in that it hooks that way. Excuse me. Alright, so we'll set that aside. I'm gonna actually be putting these 3 screws back in, and if you're wondering why, that's so when we put the JB Weld glue stuff in, it's not going to fill up the screw mounts, because if it fills up these screw mounts, then there's no way we're going to get these hinge things back on, I mean the screws back in place to hold the hinges down. Okay, so here you can see now we have that with the screws there. So what we're going to have to do is basically carefully put like thin layer of glue all around this. I guess since the glue will just be touching the base of those screws, it's fine if you get the glue on there. Okay, so I'm just going to screw these back in all the way, and then we're basically going to want to glue this in here. The problem is I don't know how I'm going to make sure it's 100% aligned properly. That's the problem. Okay, so we're going to have to do this with the other one as well. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to make sure 100% that it's aligned properly, because if it's not aligned properly, then it's going to be putting extra stress on the hinges, and that's not good. Alright, anyways, let's get these screws in. For now, the hinges we can set aside because we're not going to be doing anything with them until the JB Weld epoxy stuff sets. So we're going to get these screws back in. Hey, I just noticed it looks like a little bus. Look, it's a school bus. Alright, let's get all these screws in. Sorry, screwing around. Alright, get this last screw in there. And we're just going to need a very thin amount of JB Weld to do this. But again, the thing is, how do I make sure it's completely aligned? Let's see here. So, I don't know how I can make sure it's 100% aligned. It's just going to move around. See, there's no way to kind of be 100% sure it's lined up right. Oh, I guess there. Okay. So if I could somehow get it to go right there, because it does seem to somewhat lock in right there, then that's good. Alright, what about this side? Does this one have a lock-in point? Okay. Right there? Okay. So I guess maybe let me get like a Sharpie or something and try and like outline it a little, and then maybe that will help me figure out where to put it back to. Okay. I'm peeling this stuff up. Yeah, I'm gonna go, let me see, do I have a good Sharpie here? Okay, I have this blue one. Let's see if this will work. So I'm gonna hold this down. As you can see, if I try and move it, it stays there, so that's good. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just draw a line around it, so I know where to line this up. And hopefully that's not gonna cause any issues with the glue. But I wanna make sure that when I put this on, that I can see this whole line, okay? We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. That's important because if it's not lined up right, it's gonna have some problems. So we wanna try and keep it lined up right. This marker actually bleeds a little bit, so it has a lot of ink in it. Okay, so we're gonna need probably a very small amount of JB Weld here because, okay, hopefully this marker dried up and made a good pattern. Oh, it leaked underneath. That's kind of not good. I'm gonna use some isopropyl alcohol and try and clean off. Let's see here. Some paper towel. We're going to try and clean that off of the bottom of that because we don't really want it messing with the adhesion. Okay, so we got that. And we're just going to clean this off a little bit. Hopefully it will clean off. It kind of does. Uh-oh, I don't know if that's going to cause some problems. Maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe I should have just scraped it with something. Well, we'll find out. Hopefully it has enough surface area that it will hold really strong. Again, we don't really need too much. It's a very thin amount of JB Weld that we're going to be needing here. Alright, so let's go ahead and check the other one as well. There's a little bit here, so let's go ahead and clean that. Alright. Clean that up. Okay. Alright, so we'll set that aside. Let me get some JB Weld ready. I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back. Got the JB Weld here. We're going to go ahead and mix them up. Alright, so 2 parts. We got the white one and the black one. Right, you want equal amounts. And because the area is already kind of filled with an epoxy or some kind of glue, whatever they used, we probably don't really need much. So I'm thinking this is probably going to be way more than enough. We'll find out. Alright. So get that blob there. Let me get something to clean this off a little bit after we kind of get as much as possible out. Okay. Alright, we'll switch to the black one. And we'll squeeze this out. And again, get a little bit here. Same thing, probably should be plenty. Okay. Hopefully those are equal amounts. It's hard to tell because the black reflects light differently, so it might look like less, but I think it's the blob is also taller. All right, we're gonna mix it together. And then we're gonna make a thin layer over both parts here. So scrape it all together, make sure to mix it all up. Okay. Clean this up, oops. Okay. Stir it up some more. Okay, looks good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a thin, super thin layer on this. The problem is if you hold this, you're going to end up getting it all over your fingers, so it's a little bit tough. How are we going to do this? Let's see. I'm going to try and hold it from the sides here, and we're just going to smear it on. And we want a thin, super thin layer, okay? All right. I'm going to get it to the edges, but then it's going to end up on my finger, so okay, so I'm trying to do just a super thin layer here. Since they put glue before, it should have the gaps filled. Probably going to end up getting this on my fingers, but I have no choice if I want to get complete coverage here. So that, okay. Try and squeegee off the excess. All right, so now that we got that very thin coating, I'm gonna put like a strip along here, kind of, a little bit, just like this. So that way when we push it down, I guess let's try and just get it a little bit up on everything. But you don't want too much because it's going to end up oozing out if you do. Okay. Just try and get a very thin amount all around. And hopefully when we push down the thing, it will fill the rest of the gaps. Okay. Just like this. Okay. Very thin amount. Okay, now we're going to take this piece and we're going to try and just plop it in the guides where we drew the marker. Okay, there we go, and hopefully that's lined up well enough. I don't know if I can push it down to get it back into the same alignment as before, but somewhat. Okay, so I'm smushing it down, and then it's getting locked into place back to where it was before, and hopefully that will be strong enough of a hold. Okay. Okay, it seems to be holding in place. All right. And we're probably just going to leave that goop that kind of smushed out. Let's kind of clean this off a little bit, and then we'll use this to kind of get the edges here. So I'm going to hold that in place and then kind of just trim the edges that we kind of glued that's sticking up a little. Okay, so that should be okay. All right, we're going to do the same thing with the other side. I definitely made way more JB Weld than was necessary, but that's okay. We can use it for something else later. Okay, so we're gonna just smear this on again. Again, make sure the screws are in place so that way when you go over the screw mount holes, it's not gonna ooze into there, and then if you did that, you won't be able to put the screws in, so. Okay, just like that. And then we're gonna squeegee this off. Okay, we're just making a very thin layer. I'm going to rotate it sideways. Oh, I think I forgot a piece a little bit down there. Okay. I'm going to rotate it, and we're going to try and squeegee along this gap here. And along these edges here. Okay. And then we're going to kind of get some of the excess off. You don't want it too thick. I'm trying to like thin it out a little bit here. Okay, let me see if I can hold it there. Alright, and then we're going to squeegee the excess off. But that's at the same time, you don't want to squeegee too much because you do want thin layer, so it should cover to where you don't really see the metal. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing over here. Put a thin amount. Just kind of spreading it. This side you don't need to coat as strongly because when you go to smush the thing on top, it's going to coat that. Okay, this is kind of just to make sure we get all coverage on it. Okay, we have to rotate and work out this way. Oh, don't get the wireless antennas. Okay. A little more to the tip. Go. Kind of scrape off the excess. You don't want too much excess floating around in here because it will ooze out too far. Alright, that's plenty. I'm going to get the little school bus into place. Drop it down. Okay, let me wipe my fingers off again. Okay, I don't know if it was in view the entire time, but hopefully. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and smush the school bus down. And hopefully it's going to lock into place. I can feel it. It's kind of. Okay, there we go. This one I put a lot more extra than the other side. Uh-oh, I accidentally touched this area with some. Trying to get out of that foam. Okay. And I'm going to kind of just work it, make sure it's locked in. It seems like it's locked in for the most part. Okay, so I think we're good there. I'm going to have to scrape out the excess because there's a lot squeezing out this time. Okay, trying to clean off the screwdriver a little bit. Okay, we're going to go around the edges here with this and just scrape it out. So we don't want too much oozing out over the edges. That can cause some issues if it hits the screen. Okay. Alright, I think we're pretty good now. Okay, I can use the paper towel here holding this down and just kind of wipe around it a little bit. Okay, So I think we're good. This will have to set, this kind of glue, or JB Weld epoxy, sets in 15 hours. So basically going to have to leave this for 15 hours to completely set for these little school buses to get set in place. And then we will continue reassembling this entire thing. I'm going to have to figure out how it all goes back together because, again, somebody else took this apart and I don't know how it was before. Okay, I'm going to stick these pieces back on top. Pretty sure they were supposed to be on top, but I don't know. Okay. Hopefully that's good. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna let this sit a bit. We are gonna also probably have to replace this screen cable. Maybe I should test this screen cable, because if it works, then I can return the new one that I bought. And that would be kind of nice. The wireless antennas, I'm not 100% sure how these used to be, but this part is supposed to go flat this way, so maybe, does the white cable go underneath this way like that? Okay, I think it goes like that. If anyone has theirs to show me, let me know. There was also this piece here that I'm a little bit confused on. I guess it goes this way somehow. Okay, it lines up this way, but is it supposed to go that way, or is it supposed to go like this somehow? Wait. If I go this way, it won't work, so I guess it has to go this way. But how does this go in? Does this go on top of these wires? Again, I don't know. The customer took this out before I got to see it, so maybe it goes like that, and then this goes on top, and then this goes like that, and then this goes, what? Does this wire go underneath? Huh? Is that how it works? I don't know. There's a hole there, so I'm guessing that goes on like this. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe this wire's supposed to go underneath there. Huh. I don't know. Does this go on top? Does it go on like this? So then we have the screen cable here that goes onto the screen underneath. So that's kind of weird. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys with this one when I get back after it sits for about 15 hours. All right, see you guys then. Bye for now. Okay, I think I figured a little bit of it out, because it looks like the top piece that goes on top of the screen would go like this and would clip on top of it. So that would mean this part of the cable probably goes on top this way, because there's a little cable mount here. But the problem is this needs to plug to the screen underneath. So is this all extra slack that's supposed to go somewhere? That's kind of crazy. I don't know. I'm assuming it goes somewhere in like this, and then this probably needs to go underneath still. I don't know. And then this one goes on top. It will have the wireless antennas here, but this wireless antenna is getting smashed by the thing, so probably goes on top. I'm gonna clip this in so it's kind of covering those little school buses for now. Okay, so that's probably gonna go like that, and then those screws probably go in, and this wire probably goes under like that, and then the white one probably goes, oop, I think it's supposed to go underneath this piece. Oh, I'm getting the JB Weld on stuff. I need to move that out the way. Get out of my way, JB Weld. You're too dangerous here. Okay. Okay, let's clean this up. Okay, so that aside. Yeah, I think this white antenna is supposed to go under this. Maybe? I don't know. I really hate when people work on stuff and don't put it back the way they found it. Makes it so much more difficult, my job. Okay. Alright, so I'm assuming it goes like that. But I'm not 100% sure. This wire seems like it might break. I don't know. Does it curve around up there and then go under here with the black one? So I'm assuming it goes something like that. But yeah, I guess that's how we're gonna have it for now. And then there's supposed to be 3 screws down here. They gave me a bag of screws. I'm not even 100% which screws go where, but I'm assuming these tiny ones. There's 4 that look the same. 1, 2. There's only 3 screw holes here, so I'm not sure what the 4th one is for. And then they got this little 2 little silver ones. Here's the connector that they broke off from the screen. They got a bunch of these longer ones. This is the cover they gave me. Oh, I'm assuming the 3 longer ones go here and the 4 short ones go here. So then where are the screws that go into this? 3. Just the silver ones? Maybe the 2 silver ones, but there's only 2, so I don't know. I need, what am I gonna do for the 3rd one? Maybe they lost a screw? Am I not seeing one? I think they lost the screw. Anyways, I guess we will wait. Also, I think this was peeled off from the old screen. It broke that they gave me, but that's probably garbage now. Anyways, yeah, sorry for making it so long. That's it for now. We're gonna let this set again for about 15 hours and then we'll be back. Let me actually see if I can put those screws in there real quick, the silver ones. I'm assuming I'm gonna need a JS0 for this, but let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. Switch to a JS0 screwdriver, and let's hope these are the right screws. We'll figure this thing out later. Seems like it's fitting. Okay, so I guess that's probably correct, but they lost one. Okay. Alright, so that's gonna sit like that for now until this all gets solidified. Alright, I'll see you guys when this is done. Bye for now. Alright, let's continue this repair. So the epoxy should have set by now. We're going to take all these screws back out and hopefully we can figure out how to get this wire to sit properly. Okay, let's get these screws out. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with all these wires because, again, they took it out and I don't know how it used to be. So we'll have to figure something out. Okay. I don't know if their original wire here works, so I might have to test that as well before we continue. Alright, let's pop this piece back off. Okay. And we got this. Let's get these hinges back in. So these go on like that. So let's get these screws out. Hopefully they come out okay. Switching back to the JS1 screwdriver, I use the JS0 for those. Oh, by the way, I also found the old screen. So this is the replacement new one. You can see it has that on the board. And on the old one, this is what they did to the old one. You see that board? They flipped this upside down and then they tore that whole connector off. The whole entire connector is gone from there. I have no way to put that back, and most likely all this stuff is broken, so I'm not even going to try. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Let's go ahead now and remove these screws and put the hinges back into place. Okay, using the JS1 screwdriver. And hopefully they'll come out easily, okay? Looks like they come out just fine. Okay, you can see we can get these 3 screws out just fine. Then we'll get these 3 screws out. Come on, why is this one not... What is going on there? Why is my screwdriver not going in there? Did JB Weld get into the screwdriver? Oops, let's see. Let's try a flathead screwdriver and see if we scrape at it. Did I get JB Weld in there? Oh, okay. I think I got a little bit in there. Oops. Let's get that out. Cut into that stuff and get it out. Can't have JB Weld in there messing things up. Alright, let's see if we can get it out now. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we got those screws out. We'll get the hinge into place. And this, you have to go at an angle like this to get it into the hooks. And then you lower it down. Come on. Huh. Am I hitting? Oh, oops. Okay, so the JB Weld that overflowed here is a little bit too high. Let me actually zoom in here so you can kind of see. So I'm going to have to scrape that up using a flathead screwdriver. I didn't scrape out this part enough. Oops. Alright, also there's some up here I need to scrape off. Didn't mean to get it up there. Okay, then we're going to scrape this off. Oops, didn't mean to overflow it. This is going to be somewhat of a pain now. Yeah, my neighbors are partying outside. I can hear them screaming. It's like past midnight. Oh, this is going to be tough. I'm going to end up like breaking something here. Let me use a bigger screwdriver tip. What? Did I just drop? Oh, almost lost that screw. Alright, let's try and pry this stuff out a little bit. Okay, I think that should work. Just getting it out of the way for the hinge to go back in. Let me get these screws off and out of the way. So when I flip it to get the stuff out, it's not gonna drop. Oh, I'm gonna have to do the other side as well. Okay, let me throw this off into the trash can next to me. Okay. The other side on the left, I'm also going to have to scrape out. The magnets are too strong, they're stealing all the screws. Okay, so this one too, I accidentally overflowed it, so I'm gonna have to scrape this up a bit. Okay, flatten that out. Because this hinge thing needs to go on top of it, so we're scraping that out to flatten it. Okay, good. Oh, there's some stuck up there. Oh man, that's gonna be tough to get out. I don't know if I can get that all out. Okay, hopefully that's going to be good enough. Let's check this side again. Okay, you can see this is coming up. up. Okay, clean that junk out again. I'll use this to blow out any of the excess powdery dusty stuff. And hopefully the hinges are going to go in now. So, get this guy in. Come on. Am I putting the wrong? No, it should be right. So I think it's still hitting the stuff there because it doesn't want to line up. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, let's get these screws back in. Alright. I feel like the magnet stole some more screws, but get this back in there. Okay. And we'll get these screws in. Alright, give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Let's go ahead and get these other screws in. Alright, let's get the other side. Oh, these magnets, oh my goodness. Okay, let's get this in. Alright, that one went in easily, without a fight. Get that in. And get this in. We're going to have to test the screen real quick. Okay, let's see if we can test the screen on here. Yeah, so this cable, they ripped it out, so I'm a little worried that it might be bad. Hopefully it's not. Let's go ahead and give it a try. So we'll get this in. Give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, let's see what's going on here. So we're going to try and get this back on. If you're wondering how do you know which side is up, this side of the cable, you can see the pins, individual pins, you want that facing up when you plug this into here. I don't know what this wrap is here that they tore up, but I think that's actually supposed to wrap around this cable, and they somehow messed this up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. They unraveled all this stuff and messed it up. Let's go ahead and plug this in. So, actually, okay, it plugged in. So, we'll flip this over and we'll just see if we can, the magnets are too strong. We'll plop this in here. Oh, it sticks out too much here. It hits this. It hits this piece here. And I guess we got this cable here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and plug this in, power it up, and see if the screen works. Hopefully it works and we don't run into any issues. So I got this here, and that's going to plug in like this onto the board here. Click it down. Okay, let's see if this is good. It's holding tight. We're gonna leave it out here because we just want to test it. We're gonna plug the battery in, and we're gonna go ahead and power it up and see what happens. Fan's not spinning. Wake up. Maybe the battery's dead. Oh, I do see the power light is blinking. So I don't know if anything's gonna happen. The fan's not spinning. Maybe that means the battery's too low. It's just blinking like this. Let's try turning this off. I'm gonna hold the power button to shut it off. Okay, and then let's try powering it back on. And the light's just blinking. Oh, I see the fan spinning right now. Or it spun for a little bit and then it stopped. Oh, the keyboard's lighting up. The power light is still blinking. I don't see anything on the screen. This keyboard light shut off. The light on the power button is blinking orange now, and now it's solid orange. So far, still nothing. So I'm thinking that means they damaged the LCD LVDS cable. But I'm not 100% sure. It could be like a BIOS CMOS is resetting because the main battery was removed and I don't see a CMOS battery. So I don't know, we're just gonna, should we wait a little bit longer? It's still orange. I see nothing at all on the screen. I might have to replace that cable. It's just orange, nothing else is happening. Caps lock light responds. Okay, I have a feeling they destroyed that cable. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna hold the power button to shut it off. That orange light is staying on, it's not going away. Is it not gonna turn off? Oh, so now the light's blinking white again. Yeah, I have a feeling that cable's bad, so I'm gonna hold the power button to shut it off again. It's blinking orange. Now it's orange permanently. Okay, I'm gonna disconnect the battery here, and so grab that cable and kind of wiggle to pull it out. There we go. And I'm gonna hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power, make it safer to work on. All right, let's give it, and then give it another 5 seconds or so. Then we're gonna disconnect the screen. We're gonna swap it out for the other cable. All right. So we're gonna disconnect this cable. Pull that out. I might have to go from the edge and pop that. There we go. So we're gonna take this out. Let's pop this guy out. We're gonna pop this cable out. I'm pretty sure they damaged that cable. So we're gonna set this aside. We're gonna get the other cable back and we're gonna test that, okay? So let me go grab that cable. I think I left it somewhere else. I think this one's the wrong one, yeah. Okay, let me get the right cable and I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. Found the cable. So we're gonna now attach this cable onto the screen because this one should be fine. I tested it earlier and I was able to get it working, so maybe it was a bad idea to even try using the other one. Hopefully it didn't mess up the screen because that's going to be very sad. So we're going to get this cable in. Oops, sorry, I'm going out of view. And pull that in, click that into place. Okay, get that in. Right now, we're leaving the keyboard, sorry, not the keyboard, the webcam disconnected, but we're going to plug this in just for testing. we'll plug this guy in, click that in. You can hear that satisfying click. We're going to go ahead and plug this back in. Okay, so we're going to push the power button now, and we'll see if the fan starts spinning or not. Let's see, it didn't push. There you go, fan spinning. Let's see if the screen comes up. Nothing's happening. Oh, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, it's working with this cable. So whatever they did, they damaged that other cable. So let me shut this down real quick, and then we're gonna swap the cable and everything out. So this is gonna be hard to do. I'm gonna try and do the shutdown. Uh-oh. So we're gonna have to shut this down. The battery is low here, so. Okay, it's shutting down, and I see the light is going off. I'm gonna have to get a charger for this thing, I think, because the battery's almost dead. But there we go, we tested it, we got it working. We're gonna disconnect the, hold on to this and pull the battery back out. Then we're gonna press and hold the power button again for another 15 seconds because we gotta drain the power to make it safe to work on. Okay. Okay, a few more seconds. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and pop this back out. All right, we're gonna get this out of the way. We're gonna have to get the whole cable into this. All right, and we're gonna have to peel all of this out. Give me a second though, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and peel this up. So let's peel this up. Okay, there's some adhesive on here. I don't know if the replacement comes with that adhesive. Oh, it looks like it does, so we probably should peel that off, but let's see. Okay, so this is coming up. Let's go ahead and get the adhesive out from under there. Okay, there we go. Stick this back on. There we go. We'll peel this up. Then it curves over to the side here. Make sure I'm going to hold this. Okay, we're going to flip this little latch up. Flip this latch up here, the black one, and then you should be able to pull this out. So I'm going to disconnect this cable. Okay. All right, there we go. Alright, we're going to get this cable in. Okay, so we're going to get this cable into here. Just line it up. Okay, flip that latch down, click it into place. So we're going to now get this cable all lined up. So we'll peel off this adhesive protective thing. They put a nice little tab here. Okay, make it follow this line here if you can. Like that. Okay, let's zoom out here. This cable is now bad, so we're going to get rid of that. Let's zoom out. Let's go ahead and peel this adhesive protective coating off. This folds over this way, and we're going to have it go down the middle here. Okay. That go down the middle, and just follow the lines. Just like that. and continue going down, try and get it centered. Perfect. Okay, so now we got to get the screen on. The tricky part is once we stick this on, it's going to be stuck on. So the thing I'm worried is, how are we going to get this, how is this cable supposed to go? Because the previous person like tore this thing up. So I'm assuming this part connects to the screen first. And I think there's supposed to be stretch adhesives here. I do have some, but not the ones that came from this laptop. And I'm also not sure if it's supposed to peel from the top or the bottom. Let me see how this fits. So this fits up here. Maybe I don't even need to put that those adhesive strips. Actually, if I drop this in, will this even fit in there? Feels like it's hitting something, like it doesn't want to go down. What is it hitting? This? Is that the only thing? I don't think so. Is it? Okay, maybe it's supposed to be like that. Because I don't know how else. And this, I guess, goes on top somehow. And the cable has to come out this way. Does it come out that way? I'm not sure if it goes that way or if it goes under here or what's supposed to happen, but again, the customer already took this out. It looks like they broke these clips probably, so I don't know if this is even going to go back on. We will find out. Okay. The screen is fitting in. I don't know if it's supposed to go completely. Oh, I guess it goes completely like that. And I guess this piece stands up a little bit. Where's that little plastic? Here we go. So we have this little plastic piece. And the problem is, which way does this thing go? So this has a screw hole here, and then it lines up there. So I think this goes on top like this, right? That means this snaps onto that. Technically, this is just cosmetic, so we kind of don't really need that. This is a little bit dusty. Let me clean it, and I'll be back. We'll figure out this stuff in a bit. All right, I'm back. I don't remember what I was talking about, but I think the adhesive is probably going to be needed behind this stuff, behind the screen, because, well, actually, I mean, screen kind of holds itself in place. I'm tipping it upside down and it's not falling out on its own. So, let's lift this up. It's stuck here. Oh shoot, the screen is like stuck in there. Come on. Is it actually that? Okay, there we go. I had to flip it over and tap it. Then it came out. So, the thing, come on, let go. Oh, the magnet's holding it. Okay, so there we go. This holds itself. The thing is, I have some double stick adhesive, but it would go along the side. So, I don't know. These ones came with a different screen, so I'm not too sure. Like, the way they put the lines, it should go here. I don't know, the customer brought this to me already disassembled, so I'm not too sure. I'll probably put a tiny bit of double stick adhesive, but nothing strong. So what I'm going to do, I got this adhesive. I'm not going to use what they had, so got some acrylic adhesive here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little fold tab to make it releasable. This is double stick adhesive. Okay, so let's see. So get this. Okay, so we're just going to cut this here. Oops, I probably didn't need this thick of a piece. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut this here. Should I cut it there? How far does it go? Okay, I'm going to cut this in half. Like this. There we go. Alright. We're going to use the stuff that came with this to just stick on here. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then I'm going to cut this here. So that way I can fold this over and it won't stick. Okay? Then we're going to do this. We're going to stick this here. And we're going to cut this here. Alright, so there we go. And what we're going to do, we're going to peel the double stick piece. Oh, oops. Okay. Alright, so we're going to stick this on here, like this, and stick this down, and stick that down. Okay, then we're going to pull this up. Let's go ahead and fold the other part over the top so it doesn't stick on itself. Okay, like this. Alright, fold this over. It might actually be better to just tape this on top of a piece of paper, but let's see, how am I gonna do this? Should I do it that way? But hopefully you see what I'm going for is we can peel this back up. Okay. Yeah, I think might make more sense to stick this to paper. But anyways, you can just stick this down here. I guess I don't even need that stick release. Because then when you need to take the screen out, you can peel that up and pull the screen up that way. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Again, I'm going to just remove that white piece of paper because it's not needed. But we're going to stick this here and then go that down. Okay, take this out, stick that down. Okay, we'll peel this up. Alright, then we're going to get this in. Click that into place. Okay, let's go ahead and peel this off. And hopefully we can get the other stuff on top. Okay, so we're going to peel this off. Make sure it's clicked in all the way because once we put this down, it's going to be a pain to get it back up. Get this on. Stick that down. Okay. I'm going to flip this over. What we're going to do is we're going to get the top corner edge in first. Sorry, this video is like so long. But this is what I have to go through when customers bring stuff that they took apart themselves and didn't know how to put back together. And now I got to put it back together without even seeing what it's supposed to look like. So, okay, I'm going to stick that down. And now the screen for sure is not going anywhere. If you do need to peel it out, you can peel this adhesive and help pull it up from both sides this way. Okay, give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, let's finish getting this thing back together. Alright, so we got the screen all in place, got the camera reconnected. We got to figure out this cover situation here. I think this goes on top of this piece, so do the screws go through this as well? It looks like it. Okay, I think I already experimented with that. So this piece, I'm pretty sure goes on top here. The problem is this thing doesn't go completely flat, so I don't know if something is wrong or if that's how it is. We got that thing kind of going on. This piece, this cable, I feel like should be underneath. This is, did I mess up? Did I mess up this thing? Is this supposed to go underneath this? Get in there. Okay, I think it's supposed to be tucked in there. It says not to touch that, but we have no choice. We got to. Okay, so this goes this way. Pretty sure it goes this way. I don't know. Okay, I think that goes on like that. Where does this cable go? How does this come out? Because it can't go underneath, so I guess it goes on top this way. Okay, so I think this goes out that way, right? Like that, something like that. Again, I don't know. The customer took this out without me seeing how it was put together, so I'm just guessing here. It seems like that. There's a little pin that goes in there and holds that down. As you can see, it's staying in place on its own. Okay, so at that point, I can actually put one screw to secure it down. The screws that I have that seem like they fit are JIS0. Okay. I'm a little bit worried about these two cables, but again, I don't know how it was supposed to be. This is just what I see in this, so I'm pulling it out of this little hole here. Oh, and actually, I don't think I'm supposed to put this back yet because the other piece goes on top. So I'll set that back aside. Let's go ahead and get all this lined up here, I guess. Okay, I guess temporarily I'll put the screw in the middle one while I go to set down this. Just get that. Let's get the scissors out of the way. Okay, so we're gonna have to get this, and this we gotta make sure we don't clamp it down. So I think this goes on top this way. This has another pin here that needs to go under, I think. Right? Does it? I don't know. Does it? I don't know. Let's get this screw out. Man, this is being a bit of a pain. There we go. Okay, so I got that into the little, there's a little pin there. Okay, so next thing, these cables most likely go on top, and then this is going to have to go on here, right? Right? Am I right or am I right? I have no idea. All right, so now that we got that, let's go ahead and peel this off. We're going to roll this back like that. Slowly, carefully. Set that aside. Let's get this piece in there. Okay, so we'll get that in. You can see it all lines up. It has these little pegs that stick up into place. And get these cables up and out of the way. Push that in. All right. Okay, click that down. Click this all into place. Okay, we don't have the adhesive to put back for this. I mean, I'm assuming you can use any double stick adhesive, but I don't know. Let's see. For now, I'll leave that there. If I feel like it needs some double stick adhesive, which seems like it will, we'll put it. But let's go ahead and get this screw in. Sorry, this video is going on for a very long time. We'll get that one in. I think they lost one screw here. We'll get this other screw in. I don't see why it would need all three, but maybe, okay, maybe we do need a third. Let me see if I have a screw that will match. Let me get this screw out and see what we got here. So it looks like that. I don't think I have a screw that matches it perfectly, so I might have to just use a random one that's somewhat close-ish. Problem is I can't put one that's too long. let's see. This one is much shorter, but let's see if it reaches without blocking anything, because the top is... Okay. Is that even going in? No? Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Come on, let go. Yeah, that doesn't even come out or go in. And, oh, actually, that screw is super thin. Huh. Do I have one that's that thin? Is this thin enough? These are like super thin screws. I don't think I even have one that thin. Is this thinner? That looks about the same. So this might work. Oh, this is a T5 screw though. Okay, well, we'll get this in. And then I'll try that with a T5. Is that a T5? Looks like a T5. Actually, it might be a T3, but let's see. Most people aren't going to have this stuff. Oh, it is a T5. Okay. Problem is, I don't know if the customer's going to be able to take this back out because they're going to need the screwdrivers, but I guess they didn't know what they were doing in the first place, so. Alright, so we got those screws in. The thing is, how are we going to do this now? Okay, so I think this comes out. It has two little guiding slots here. Let me actually zoom in. So we can make the skinny cable go at the bottom and the bigger cable go at the top one. And there you go. Look, it holds on nicely. I hope that's correct because that's how I'm going to put it. Alright, this piece also fell out, which is the camera blocker thingy. So how can we put this in? Oh, it just snaps in nicely. Oops, sorry. It just snapped in. This piece was just popped out somehow. The clips. Let me turn this upside down and show you. So there's these clips here. And I don't know if they popped this thing out. I just popped it back in. I don't even know how they popped it out on purpose or on accident because it holds in pretty strong on its own. And then this can slide like left and right, but I ended up just pushing it back in and it snapped in on its own. Okay, so if you had that popped out, I don't know what to tell you other than push it back into place. Okay, and hopefully they didn't get any dust or fingerprints in there. All right, we're gonna line this up and clip it all back into place. So just like this, just click it all back in, and you can see now we can like lock this and unlock it. Then we're going to go down this edge here. Looks good. Let's get this. Okay, looks good. This, yeah, this is most definitely going to need some double stick adhesive holding it. We're going to get this in as well now. So we'll get the black cable in. I'm going to just guide the black cable first around under there and then get the white cable and put that on top and get that in. Alright, so there we go. Now, how do we get this piece in? Does it just plop on top? Does it have some clips? I don't know. The customer broke off clips here, so I'm not too sure. Does it slide over? Does it just clip down? I think the clips on this are actually broken, so we probably just smush it in. I might have it upside down though. Okay, that doesn't go in that way, so I'm going to flip it over. We got to make sure these cables don't get smushed, so. Oops, it's too far over one way, so line it up. And make sure this is up. Okay. Oh, it clips. Interesting. Okay. So it looks like it all just clips into place here, and hopefully this is in the right place. Okay, I don't know how they popped it out originally, and I hope it's the right way. Okay, it looks like the shorter end goes on this side, and then the longer, slightly longer angled end goes up here. oh, you can actually see the shape from that piece there. So this is right, but this side doesn't want to clip down. So I might be doing something wrong here. I don't know if this cable's getting smashed too much. Let's see if I can pop this back out. Okay, this thing is difficult to pop out. I think we got to go from the bottom here. Wow, how can you purposely get this back out? Thumbs, roll it. It looks like it's somewhat rolling off, but it's also pulling stuff up. Did I just drop? Ah! Okay. Magnet's pulling stuff in. Okay, so we're gonna try and go from under the front. Oh wow, this holds on really strong. Okay, I feel like this cable is going on the wrong way. I'm not 100% sure, but it feels like it might be. Huh. Well, let's go ahead and get this in. Okay, give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, let's go ahead and try and get this thing together now. Let's zoom out a bit. I like to hang it off the edge of the desk here like that. Hopefully these cables are in properly and we'll be okay. This thing looks like it might be in the way. Does the cable go around this way, this way? How's this supposed to work? Maybe it goes through this gap. This cable's upside down, so it's gonna be, does it go under this way, all the way around? Huh, that seems like it might damage it. This seems like it might kind of work, but also looks bad for the cable, but it can go like all the way this way, like this. Okay, give me a second again. Okay, sorry for all those pauses. Let's get this thing packed together, hopefully. I do have to remove these screws that I put back here last time, so got these two side by side. Uh-oh, I'm gonna have to pause again. And then we got this one up here, this one down here. Okay, let me pause again, I'll be back. Then we'll see about the wiring. Okay, hopefully we'll be able to finish this. Hopefully this cable will survive. Let's try and get this thing back together. Let's see, so the cables here do need to kind of go under here somehow, it seems. That's my guess. I'm just guessing again, I haven't seen this, so I made this go over on top. I'll show a close-up later. This cable, I don't know what's going to happen here. It looks like it should go over like this, right? So there's a gap here, and it doesn't crunch down until there. So I think that's probably the best way. I don't know what this little cable slot is for. It's not being used. So hopefully this will work. And this cable's kind of all twisty weird. So I don't know what's going on with that, but we're probably going to just get it to go on like this. Okay, line that up. Can we click that in? It didn't make that. Okay, I guess it clicked in. So it looks like, is this going to go in without destroying something? Oops, I forgot to take one screw out here. Okay, let's see. Is this going to go without smushing this cable? It seems like it works. I think that should be good, right? Does this cable, okay, this cable can move even though this is down, so that's a good sign. Let's get this screw back up here. Okay, we'll tighten that guy down. And, oh, now this cable doesn't really move much at all. So I don't know, should it go around this way? Again, I don't know, because the computer was just brought to me pre-disassembled, so this is, I don't know how it was supposed to be. I mean, you see this cable can coil around this way, which also works. And there's also this little thing sticking out here. So I have a feeling it's supposed to go this way. I'll show a close-up once I get this all reassembled, so you can kind of see. But this seems like it might make more sense actually. So we'll get that in, tighten that down. I'll show you guys the wireless antennas as well. Okay. All right. Okay, I might have to pause another time. Let's get all these screws in though. Okay. Alright, tighten that down. This is pretty dusty. I'm going to clean that up. Oop, wrong side. Goes here. Okay. Let's see about closing the screen. Here's what the screen looks like. It looks okay. It does stick up a little bit here, so we'll probably have to use some double stick adhesive under the front here and then just stick it down. But for now, let's go ahead and close this up. You can see this cable's now curving up here. So yeah, all right, we'll get that there. Wireless antennas, let's actually zoom in a bit. Let me show you how I got this cable going. So we got the cable wrapped around there like this. Wireless antenna, we're gonna have to now get this all routed around here. So let's I guess get the black wire in first, get the white wire in. Okay, let's wrap around here. Does this need to tuck under there? I guess let's go ahead and do that. Tuck that under there. Okay, then we'll go ahead and get this over here. Get that in there. There we go. Get that in there. Now we're going to get the white one first because that ends up on top, and the black one. And here we go. We got the cables all the way over to here. Let's plug the black wire in. Let me zoom in because some people have issues with this. So you want to line this up. The way you know it's lined up is you kind of wiggle it until you can see it got caught. Like if I try and wiggle it, it stays there. Then you can go ahead and click it down. All right. The white wire, same thing. Line it up. Wiggle it. You see it gets caught, and then you can go ahead and click it down. Okay. All right. It looks like it should be good. Okay. All right. So there we go. We'll zoom back out. I think we got everything back together properly. Let's go ahead and plug the battery back in, right? We got everything in. It looks like they, oh wait, I already mentioned that. There's an SSD here and then a slot here for an SSD. It's missing the screw. This, what do they have here? It's an NVMe. I think it's 512 gigs. Anyways, let's plug the battery back in, I guess. Pinch that in. And then get this under. All right, let's zoom out. Okay, let's zoom in a bit more. Okay, so this will be a thumbnail here. Give it a few seconds. And then we'll just get the bottom cover. Oh, let me clean this dust and I'll be back. All right, so clean the dust out. Let's go ahead now and get this on top. Hopefully everything's good. We tuck the battery in. Everything else looks to be good. Okay, let's get this back on. Click this all back into place. Click everything back down. All right, and let's get these screws back in. I think, yeah, these are T5 or Torx 5. So I'm assuming, let's see, I'm assuming that the longer ones go towards the back and the small ones go at the front because there's 3 long ones and 4 short ones. So let's get these in. Alright. And then we're going to power it back up. And we should be good to go. Alright, let's see. Hopefully nothing got messed up in the process of putting the cables and everything in. And then if that's the case, we should be good to go. This thing was a real pain to get together. Hopefully we'll be good. It's a little bit dusty here as well, so let's see if we can kind of clean that. Good. Alright, let's flip this over, power it up. Maybe I'll plug in, I don't have a Lenovo one, I have a MacBook one because everybody brings me MacBooks. It looks like it's charging. Let's power it up. And let's see what we got. Alright, power button light is blinking, probably because the battery's low. Give it a few seconds and hopefully it will come up. Again, the battery, I believe, acts as a CMOS BIOS battery, so give it a bit after turning it on, okay? I think it's going to take a while. There you go. Alright, and there we go. So we should be good to go. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Again, if it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. I know this was like a huge journey trying to get all this stuff together. Again, the customer brought it to me where it was already pre-disassembled, and that makes it a lot more difficult to do. One thing I'm going to try is to get some adhesive here because there's a huge gap here. So we'll see what we can do there, and then we should be good to go. So what I'm going to do, oops, I restarted it. So usually after doing any big hardware changes, I would restart the computer. So that's why I did that. Alright, so the screen is actually popping out all the way along the bottom half. So let me shut this down. I'm going to let it charge a bit. But I'm going to cut a piece of double stick adhesive. Let's see here. So we're going to pull this all the way out here. Okay, so we got that. We're going to cut this. This adhesive, it's not a required step, but it does help prevent dust from going down into there. So we got this, okay. Alright, so we're going to get this in there. This is going to be tough, but let's see. Alright, so we're going to try and pop this in. And let's see here. Okay. Let's see, this thing is a little bit tough here, so we'll get this in there. Okay, this is kind of a pain to get in, but okay. Let's see here. This is kind of tough. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to peel this up. Okay, so this is, come on, stop flipping upside down. Stop flipping upside down. This is a pain. maybe I'm going to cut it in pieces and do it in multiple. It doesn't need to be one solid strip, so let me cut that in half. Cut that in half. Okay. Alright. If I didn't already mention, make sure like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. Alright. If it helped you save a bunch of money, consider contributing a little to the channel. Alright. And yeah, you get the rest. Okay, I'm gonna have to use 2 of these to make this easier. Getting this adhesive is kind of annoying. I should have stuck it in earlier. Okay, so this. Okay, so there's that one. Second one in. Okay, stick that down. All right, next one. Let's see, how am I gonna do this? Middle. Come on. Get that in. Line that up. Okay, stick that down. Pull this out. Stick up. Nope. Uh-oh. Don't stick on like that, please. Hold that down. Push that into place. Come on, let go. Here we go. Good. And now this one. Let's get this guy into place. Come on, let go. Let go. Oh, did it flip? Okay. Hopefully that's okay. All right. Let's get some tweezers and peel up the backing. This piece is not lined up completely. And push the excess down. I gotta scrape this stuff down. This part, I accidentally taped it too high, so we gotta scrape it down. Okay. That should be good. Let's go ahead and peel these up. Get this scraped down as well. Okay, and hopefully this is the end. Okay, let's rotate this, and let's go ahead and stick this all down. Stick it down, stick it down. Clip this down, stick that down. Alright, I think it should be good. There we go. And that's it. Thanks again for watching. Bye. Let's drop this.